Hey friends, this is the Miss Wolfie from our half-acre homestead, and today we're going to make potato bread. Now, I'm sorry that this video isn't opening the way the video normally opens, but I forgot to hit record on my camera. It happens all too often with me, but I thought I was recording in the beginning and I wasn't. So we're going to jump right into the making of the potato bread. But what I wanted you to know first was that you can use as many potatoes as you want. Well, not as many as you want, but I used 2 medium-sized russet potatoes. I recommend that for a single loaf of bread. I just happened to go overboard and make 2 really big loaves of bread. All right, here we go.
Okay, here's what we got. We have our boiled potatoes and the water. Now I'm going to pour off most of the water into this glass, to which I've added 2 tablespoons of butter. And before I go any further, I'm going to take some yeast. Now this is instant yeast, but I'm going to proof it anyway. And it's in I'm going to put it in this cup of warm water and brown sugar. I've got about a tablespoon of brown sugar in there. Just going to let that do its thing. Let's move our bowl out of the way for a minute. And I'm just going to mash these potatoes. Now for the amount of bread I'm making, I could have used more potatoes, but that doesn't really matter. Let's get this chair out of the way. Well, maybe I'll sit down for a minute. See, I remember my mother boiling potatoes for supper and saving the boiled water for making bread the next day, or to get it started that night. All right, so here's our potatoes, all well mashed. Our yeast is proofing, even though that yeast doesn't need to, and our hot potato water is cooling down and melting that lump of butter in it. So let's get our bowl out, and let's start getting flour going here. Now folks, you are going to notice that nothing I do right now is actually measured, except maybe the amount of sugar and the butter. All we are going to base our measurements on is the consistency of the dough. And I want lots. We are almost out of bread. And payday is not until Friday, so I'll be making some. And why just make bread when you can add some fiber and potassium nutrients to your bread? Okay, now let's get our potatoes in here. And we're just going to start working those potatoes into the flour. Like I said, I probably could have used a lot more. Have extra liquid, maybe some milk. You don't have to add milk, you don't have to add an egg. You just need the potato water, the yeast, and the flour, if you're absolutely up against it. Let's get our yeast in here. And because of the heaviness of the flour, or the potato, I think I'm going to add a little bit more yeast. Probably another teaspoon. And let's get our, this might be too hot. No, it's just warm enough. You don't want to kill your yeast with hot water. Be really careful, folks. Err on the side of cool. All right, it's time to get busy now. Err on the side of cool with the yeast. Yeah, we're going to need some more liquid in here. So I'm going to beat up an egg and add some milk. Again, you don't have to add milk and egg to this recipe. I just like the consistency it gives the dough. There we go. Yeah, that's some more like it. However much bread you get depends on how much flour and liquid and yeast you use. Hold on a second here. Let me just get the most of this dough off my hands. Put some salt in here. You don't want to add too much salt because it'll kill the yeast, but you want enough that it's going to enhance the bread. Okay, let's just knead this on the cloth now. Many people ask, why do you use a cloth? A, because it is easier to clean up afterwards. I just take it outside and I flick all the flour off. And B, your dough doesn't stick as hard. Now we're just going to knead this until it's a nice, smooth consistency. Smooth and elastic is what we're looking for. This is really hard on my hands and wrists, folks. So I hope you're enjoying this video because you do not see me hand knead bread too often. Now one thing you're going to notice with potato bread is the dough has a slightly grayer consistency. That's the potato starch. Oh yeah, I didn't need to add anything. I don't need to add anything more to this, except maybe dust this cloth a little more, just so that it doesn't stick anymore. There it is, smooth and elastic. All right, I'm just going to leave this right here. With the bowl over it. We'll see you when it's doubled in bulk. Okay, let's have a look. Oh yeah, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, just knock this down. Get myself a nice sharp knife. And I've got my 2 bread pans here lined with parchment. I'm not sure how high these loaves are going to go. I'm just rolling it up. And I'm going to roll it up one more time. I got some dry in here. Let's just roll this up and stretch as we roll. Pinch the ends down and under and put it seam side down in our bread pan. I think that's going to do beautifully. I really do. Pinch that down. I think one's bigger than the other. Let's see if we can't push this down in here. Let's just pull back the tablecloth that we've been working on. Set our bread here and then put it to rise again. Oh my papa, look at that. All right, these are going into a 350-degree oven for 35 to 45 minutes. Okay, our timer has gone off. This is the smell I remember from my childhood. Fresh bread always smells good to me, but potato bread is what I remember from my childhood. That's the smell I remember. Now I'm just going to tip these out. Oh, I ripped the ends of my bread. Well, I will be. Nom, 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 nom. All right. Now, if you want your bread crusty like that, leave it like that. But I like mine soft, so I just cover it back with the cloth until it cools down. The heel is the piece we always fought over when we were kids. But this was stuck to the pan, so. Feels like my mom's standing right over my shoulder. Except she'd have to stand on the chair because she was about this tall. This is the Mrs. Wolfie from our half-acre homestead saying, you don't have to add the egg and the milk, but the potato and the potato water, oh my God. It takes your bread to the next level. Take care. God bless.